Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching the Kevin Sullivan channel. I'm Kevin Sullivan. For those who have video requests, please let me know your video requests, and I'll do a video for you, as well as for those who would like to email me. The email is kevinsullivanyoutube@yahoo.com. Simple and plain as that. Kevin Sullivan at Yahoo. No, Kevin Sullivan YouTube@yahoo.com. So, ladies and gentlemen, the topic of this video will be called narcissistic grandparents. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, so most of us have narcissistic grandparents as well as narcissistic parents. Though some may have narcissistic grandparents, but not narcissistic parents. But for those who have narcissistic parents and narcissistic grandparents, your grandparents is where your parents got their narcissistic behavior from. Yes, so your parents are narcissists because your grandparents are narcissists, and they chose to be like their parents. Instead of changing, they refuse to, well, they might as well just be narcissists like their parents. So, narcissistic grandparents is just like narcissistic parents. It's just that they're grandparents. So, of course, like, your grandparents know it all. They know what's best for you. They got something to say about everything you do. And everything you do is never good enough. You should be doing this, you should be doing that. Your narcissistic grandparents compare everything to back in the day to where they was coming up. So of course, your grandparents, when they was coming up, everything in time was different. But they think everything and act like everything was from their past, because narcissists are always stuck in the past. They always stuck on past. They never focus on the new. They never focus on today. They don't focus on things like that. They focus and they don't change. So they will refuse to change. So they've been the same way that they've been forever. And they don't believe in change. So this is why they compare everything to when they was coming up, when they was growing up, and how things was. They think everything should be that way, and they don't take in consideration that times is different, things are different. They don't believe in that. Plus, they one-track minded and narrow-minded. So they think that they know everything, and they got the solution and the answers to everything. So they will use old school remedies of today that work then but don't work now, or is now found out to was wrong. What wasn't proven wrong then is proven wrong now. They don't pay attention to that. Like I said, they are stuck on the past. They don't change. They don't like change or believe in change. They are always right, and that's point blank, period. Plus, they always know what's best for you, as them being the grandparents and you being the grandkids, and your parents being their kids. So the narcissist grandparents, they are in control over your parents' life and still manipulate their life and control over their life, as well as your grandparents being in control over your life as well, you being the grandkids. And it's even worse when your parents are narcissists, just like your grandparents. So your narcissistic grandparents control your parents, especially if your parents are narcissists as well. If you say it's Christmas time, right? So you want a video game. Say you want a PlayStation, say you want an Xbox, say you want a Wii, or whatever game system you want. If your mother is buying a game for you, right? Like I said, your mother is buying a game for you. And so it's your choice to pick up which game system you want, what color you want the system. So you'll pick out a game system and then you'll pick out what color you want. Well, your narcissistic grandparents or your narcissistic grandmother or grandfather, they would tell you, no, you're not getting that color because everybody else got that color. Again, she's going to tell you which game that she's not paying for or he's not paying for or your grandparents together are not paying for, that your parents or a parent is paying for, that you predict what color you should get of the game and what color you shouldn't get of the game because of how many people has the color. This is the mind of a narcissist. Yes. So what does that matter? She's not playing the game. And then at that, look at this. Like I said, they are old people and they are stuck in the past. They don't even know about systems today. So how would your grandmother or grandfather or grandparents know what game you're getting or who got every color of that? Exactly. They wouldn't know because they're not on technology today. Hardly any of our grandparents are up on technology today or what about the game systems, because for one, they don't play game systems and they stopped playing video game systems way long before the game systems that's out today were even out. So again, why would she say that? What it has to do with her? It doesn't matter. But first, that was a lie anyway, because how do you know who got every color of what game when this game just came out? And you don't even know nobody or just one person you might know who has that game system and predict what color you have. So this will make a grandkid very upset and angry and resent their grandparents because of stupidity of things like this. Always got something to say about something and just want something to say about something and want control and gain control. And if your parents are still under control of their narcissistic parents, which is your grandparents, your parents, whether they narcissist parents or not narcissist parents, if your grandparents still got control over them, you know what they would do? They will say, you know what? You're going to have to get the black system. Why? Because your grandmother says so, what's best for you. Now, this is not something that is even need to be said about what's best for you. I mean, it's a game system. It's a toy. If you're getting a toy, what matter what color that you get? It doesn't even matter. You know? It's your choice to pick. They're not even buying it. Plus, it's a Christmas gift, and you want what color you want. You like that color. So what's the whole even point of that? This is how narcissist grandparents are. And most likely if, let's say, and your narcissistic parents will do what the narcissist grandparents say, most likely if they narcissistic parents. If your grandparents are narcissists, and your parents not narcissists, most likely they won't do what they say. But for the most part, if your narcissistic grandparents are, if your parents are narcissistic as well as your grandparents, your narcissistic parents are going to listen to what the grandparents say. They're going to let them have the last say so. Narcissistic grandparents make tremendous stupidity mistakes and make poor decisions, and then want to tell you, the grandkids, about the decisions they make and what they should be doing. Also predict to your parents what they should be doing and what's right is wrong, and they still in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s making horrible mistakes and still living with the mistakes that they've been made and keep making. But they know what's best for everybody else, and they don't even still know what's best for them. They don't love or care for your parents, so they don't love or definitely care for you, the grandkids. They just act like they do. See, this is what they'll do, right? So if you live far from your grandparents, and let's say you guys, they might live an hour away, next city, next town, another state, an hour away, an hour and a half away, 2 hours away. Do your whole childhood, right? Most of your childhood, right? They won't call you, ask to speak to you. They won't have nothing to do with you. They'll be talking to your parents, but they won't be asking about you, talking about you. They won't be, they'll know all your business and what's going on, and be telling your parents or what they should do to you, or what's wrong with you and what you need to be doing. But they won't talk or tell you. You could be getting in trouble in school. You could be having difficult times with this. You could be going through this at the moment. Blase, getting in trouble with the law. Having health issues, things like that. They will never, you'll do all that time. They won't be coming to check up on you, coming to see you, saying, oh, let me go, I love my grandkids, or my grandkid. Let me go check up on them. Let me go, drive, go see them, hang out with them, teach them things, blase, like that. They won't do things like that at all. You know why? Because they don't care. They don't care about you, so they're not going to do none of that, They don't care about you at all, so they're not going to do nothing like that. And you'll say to yourself, my grandparents never, they don't do that. And they might have did it when you was younger, only because you guys lived in the same town 10, 20 minutes away. You lived on the east side, they lived on the south side. It was a 10, 20 minute drive. And you was little baby kids probably. But that don't even count as when you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. To when, up to then till you were an adult. So they won't do none of that. So if say now all of a sudden you're grown, and after you made your mistakes, and now they want to talk to you and tell you and be all up in your ear about the mistakes you made and what you should have done, what you shouldn't have done, and what you should have been doing. But wait, if you knew all this, why you didn't tell me or guide me from the age that I should have? Why you gonna wait till all these years, me being 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, all these years, do middle school, high school, then an adult, you never say any other, especially if they know all of this, because of course they keep in contact with your parents or your mother or your father or both of them, so they know what's going on. So, but they never said anything. But now that you're grown and you made all mistakes, and now you might move back close to them, or you back in the same city, same town, same state or whatever, or even if you're not, maybe visits, and when they see you on visits, reunions and things like that, they say something to you, but it's like, okay, well, why you didn't say nothing then? Like, if you knew I needed this information, why you didn't tell me before? If you really loved me and cared, you would have been telling me at the age that I needed to be knowing, and would have been at least calling to school me and helping me. But you did none of that. But now that I'm grown, now you want to tell me what's right and what's wrong, and what I shoulda, coulda, woulda, shouldn't, but didn't do. Especially, ladies and gentlemen, this what your grandparents would do when you made the mistakes that you made, and then as well as you get out of the mistakes, you fix your life up, and then you learn from the mistakes, you woke up, you got knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you grown, you mature, you learn from your mistakes. Now you walking in your true identity, and especially you got a relationship with God now, and things like that. if they see that, they definitely still within two right then and there try to tell you talk about the mistakes you made or what you did and how that was stupid and how I ain't never did that, I ain't never did this, I would have never did that, I've been learned my lesson, blase, 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 blase. Now they got something to say about it. And then now they know now, and then all the stuff that you did and to fix your life and correct your life, and now you walking on a straight, successful path and everything is good for you now. You know, you back healthy, physically, mentally, you know, spiritually, you back healthy and whole. Now they want to tell you to do the stuff that you already been doing and already did already to fix your life up. They want to tell you that. But when you was going through the things that you was going through and dealing with you were dealing with, they had no answers. They didn't call you, they didn't get in contact with you, they didn't come see you, they didn't send a message to you, nothing. When you was going through all the drama you was going through, all the messed up stuff you was going through, you know, all the stuff, getting in trouble with the law, going to jail, prison, or what have you, wasting your life, wasting time, running around, playing around, partying, getting in all type of crazy relationships, hanging with the wrong crowd, addicted to drugs, alcohol addictions, or, you know, sex addictions, whatever have you, the many things of, you know, what could be possible of you going down the wrong path and ruining your life. When you was doing all of that, they had nothing to say. They didn't call you. They didn't come see you. They ain't write a letter. They ain't send a message. They ain't visit you. None of that. But soon as you get yourself together, now they want to come and try to tell you what you should be doing to get your life together. And they're going to tell you stuff that you already did already, that you already doing already, that they didn't tell you. They wait till you do it or did it or doing it now, then they want to tell you. That's narcissistic grandparents for you, and narcissistic parents for you as well too. Because see, they don't care about you at all. And it's especially worse if you got narcissistic parents as well as narcissistic grandparents. It's definitely a double whammy. You know, and the reason that they do this, especially if you're the scapegoat of the family. If you're the scapegoat of the family, like that's what's really gonna go through. That's what's really gonna happen to you. And they just want to take credit because really they're mad, just like your parents and your other siblings will be mad. Your narcissistic grandparents would be mad too that you getting your life together because they wanted to see you fail. They was hoping that you fell and you stay and hit rock bottom. But they mad that you didn't, so now they want to try to take credit and try to put their little self, squeeze their little self in there. It's like, nope, I don't need your help. I already did it on my own. I'm already doing it. I did it without any of your advice. I did it without any of your help. When I was falling, you didn't pick me up. You didn't help. You didn't, in any type of way, you know, possible. Now that I did what I was supposed to do or halfway there or doing what I'm supposed to do and everything is fine, now you want to got something to say, you know? Then they try to shun you about what you did and patronize you about things you did, or, you know, or I would have never did that. I learned my lesson. I don't see the sense of doing this and doing that. That's just stupid. Now you're trying to down me, but they trying to down you and criticize you of the mistakes you made as your past. And, you know, because they mad that you on the right narrow path now. You know, you on the right path now. Like you living your life now. Like you learn from your mistakes. You whole now. You happy now. Your past is your past. They do that because they scared of your future and they hate your future because your future is not your past. They like you being in your past. They don't like you being in your future because they want to see you fail. So they always want to bring up and talk about your past because they don't like you and they don't like your future. They like your past and they want you to be who they want you to be in that category box. If you're the scapegoat, especially if you're the scapegoat, woo! And especially if your grandparents are religious, narcissistic demons who are in the church. Now, don't be fooled about your parents. They go to church. Your grandparents are your parents either as well, too, because they are narcissistic religious demons. and they not of God. Read your Bible. For those of you that are spiritual, those of you who go to church on a spiritual journey, those of you who believe in God, don't believe in narcissistic grandparents or parents about how righteous and spiritual they is, because the Bible tells you that everybody is not who they say they are, and for you to test them. And your grandparents, especially if you're the scapegoat, they don't like you and hate you as you being a granddaughter or the grandson, or your parents, you being the good son or the good daughter, especially if you're the scapegoat. It's a reason for hate. You really being a true person in the real light. And they know that from day one. That's why they don't like you and made you the scapegoat, because they trying to tear you and break you down. You don't have to tear and break down what's already down or what's already nothing, Like, you don't see nobody who tear down a building that just everything's is tear down, try to tear it down more, because what's already done is done. What's already tore down is already tore down, So don't let your grandparents fool you. And this is why they don't like you and hate you, because see, your grandparents, they faking like they righteous, but they not righteous at all. They narcissistic religious demons, but they not holy and spiritual like they say they is. I don't care if they go to church. They've been going to church 50,000 years every day. I don't care if they're a pastor, the minister, the deacon, whatever have you, the bishop. It doesn't matter. I don't care if they're the usher. I don't care if they the elders. If they're the elder, it does not matter. Everybody singing heaven ain't going, and the Bible tells you that. For those of you who are, you need to start reading your Bible and start reading chapters, like especially Matthew's, which talk about, and other chapters, many other chapters in the Bible, that tells you about demonic spirits and evil people pretending to be of God, and they're not of God. So don't let people fool you who go to church, who always quoting scriptures. That don't mean anything. Start reading your Bible. I'm telling you, different chapters. Don't keep reading the same ones. Keep reading the Bible from the end, from every chapter, from the first book in the Bible to the last book in the Bible. Make sure you read everything. Keep going year after year after year after year. Every day read it, so you can learn about these people. You need to be aware, because your parents, because narcissistic parents are like this, and narcissistic grandparents like this. Your husband or your wife could be like this. The narcissist definitely religiously and spiritually abuse their victims. And your grandparents and your parents, one of them, and also, your spouse, your significant other would do the same thing to you in a relationship, in a marriage. And it don't matter what religion it is, out of all of the 100 ones that it is, it don't matter which one that it is. So that's very true what I'm saying, and I really mean what I say. Watch out for your grandparents and your grandparents and anybody too, especially narcissists. They are demonic evil spirits, and they are religious demonic spirits. Just like the Bible said, watch out for those, because God don't know them, and they pretend like they of God and they're righteous, but they are not at all. Don't let people fool you because they go to church and they know every scripture in the Bible. The Bible talks about that. That don't mean nothing. Just because they go to church every day don't mean nothing. Just because they shouting and screaming, that don't mean nothing. Just because they always got the Holy Ghost every 10 seconds, that don't mean nothing. Just because they always talking about God all the time, that don't mean nothing. That's what religious people do. So be careful. And as well, ladies and gentlemen, the narcissistic grandparents are always trying to control, have control over the parents of your parents or parents of what they do and how they live their life. and take control. And also with that saying, they also want to have control over your life as well. And they want to use you to benefit them. So this is what a narcissist grandparent would do. Your mother could be living somewhere, right? You guys could be living with your mother or you, whatever. And like, this is what narcissistic grandparents do, because you gotta understand, they got narcissistic characters as narcissistic characters and traits. That's just that. So what your narcissistic grandfather would do, right? Or grandparents would do, or grandmother would do, or both of them, right? So you could be living somewhere with your parents, y'all could be living somewhere, and your grandparents will have your mother move close to them, or your parents or your father move close to them, so that they could be beneficial to them and also you as well. So your grandparents can have a house that they own or whatever. They don't want to let it go, even though it's draining their pockets. They got too much pride. Plus, they are narcissists, think retarded. No, excuse me, I didn't mean to say that. They think stupid, because I really didn't mean to say that. No disrespect to those. So they don't know how to let stuff go. They take everything as a loss. It's all about winning. So instead of them saying, okay, we can't afford this house, why don't we sell it? They will make your parents or one of your parents say, okay, you guys have to move in this house so that somebody could be living in this house, paying rent, so I could collect money from this house because I can't afford this house. You know, so then you guys move into this house when you guys was living somewhere better. And this house could be raggedy, old, run down, and everything. Now you guys move into this house. This house is raggedy. You guys were just living in a nice, comfortable place. A lot of rooms, brand new, decorated, brand new house or apartment or two-family house, condo, whatever you was. Now you guys move into this old, raggedy, rusty, funky, dirty shack, all for your grandparents. See, they don't care about your well-being or your parents' well-being. So now your parents move into this. So now the kids got to come move into this because the kids live with the parents. So now you guys live here. Then there's not even enough room. Everything is broken, messed up in this house. Everything. And they brought it and won't even have the nerve of reinventing it because they can't even afford to have the house. So they don't even have money to even renovate it and fix it. So they won't even fix it. They'll just do little petty, cheap fix-ups, you know, little minor touch-ups. That's it. Then they won't even have professionals do it. They'll have, you know, the guy that they knew they grew up with who do jobs, you know, who's not even legit, fix it up, or somebody who's legit but they just work for themselves and they not as good. They didn't go to school for it, but they okay, but they didn't go to school for it. They not professionals. They'll pay them chump change to do chump change jobs. You know, as you know, you pay for what you get for, you know. And so now you guys live in this no room, no space for everybody, raggedy, old, busted up, falling apart every day shack, just so your grandparents can collect money for it. Your whole lifestyle just changed. You know, your whole living environment just changed from good to worse, just so they won't have to sell this house that they can't even afford. Narcissists have too much pride, man. They have too much pride. They don't know how to let go of stuff. Like they and you see another thing is they trying to keep up with the Joneses. And another thing, they don't want people in church or people in the neighborhood because they care about the image. They're, oh, I lost my house. We can't afford it. See, that's the big thing. This is stuff they think about. They think about what other people say and other people think. So they make decisions on that. And they make decisions on betraying this image. So this is what things that narcissist parents would do. Then what they would do, now they can't afford, so they can't afford this raggedy old house, right? So what I'm saying, first they brought it stupidly because they didn't check the paperwork on the house. So they brought the house because it was a good price for cheap. So they had some money saved up, brought it. But once you buy the house, whatever is old on the house or whatever back paid, you got to pay that. So now they brought it blindly. So now they got to pay all this money, which broke them and which they didn't have in the first place. So now they in debt in a hole, right? So instead of just getting rid of the house, selling it, and just taking that loss, like I said, they had your parent or parents move in it. Now your parents in a paying rent. So now what they get? You got the property taxes on it. Then you know the things that come with owning a house, right? So now you got the sewer bill, you got the water bill, you know, which the landlord paid for. So now what they want your parent or your parents to pay that too as well. Now, since your parents can't afford that, that's too much. So what he says, so what your grandparents do, since you kids live here too as well with your mother or your father or your mother and father, you guys got to start paying this water, this sewer and water bill. See that? You see that? Now, I mean, there's nothing wrong with a kid, you know, kids contributing to where they live at. If they old enough, they grown or whatever may have you, you know, old enough to work. I mean, do something, help out. That's not a problem. But see, you know, this is wrong because your grandparents who own the house supposed to be the landlord. Not only is they making your parents pay and they already paying rent, they supposed to take care of the water and sewer bill, right? The person who own the house take care of the water and the sewer bill. So instead of them just saying they can't afford this house and let it go, now they want the grandkids to help them pay for what they can't afford just so they can keep the house and not sell it because they can't afford it. You see what I'm saying here? You guys get what I'm saying? These are narcissistic grandparents for you. Now here they go writing up contracts of, see, the kid's not even on the lease. The parents is on the lease, or the parent is on the lease. The kid's not even on the lease. So now what the grandparents are going to do is what? They are going to write leases and contracts for the grandkids to sign, or the grandkid to sign, about what they should do, what they need to be paying, and what they need to be doing. Now, not only they should be doing what they should be doing. Now it's rules. Like, now the contract says, and they have to sign it. You got to pay me this every month or every week, and that's to pay this. Then all the work that needs to be done around the house, you got to fix everything. See that? Because the stuff that needs to be done in the house, on the house, the landlord supposed to do and fix up. They don't want to pay for it, and they don't want to do it themselves. So now they make the grandkids do it. That way they ain't got to pay for it or do it themselves. See that? Now the grandkids not only got to pay because they stay, now they got to fix where they lay. You see that? You stay here, you got to pay here. You live here, you got to fix it. Now you got to do all the lawn mowing. Anything that break, you got to fix. Paint the house, all this for free. Now you got to be the maintenance. So now you're not even helping pay the bills, and now you fixing the house and you're doing everything for free. And then now in the contract as well too, the grandkids or grandkids they can't have company, they can't have people sleep over, they can't do this, they gotta be in the house at a certain time. Blase this. Contract 10 pages long. Can't do this, can't do that. Gotta do this, gotta do that. If you don't do this, you gotta leave. If you don't do this, you gotta leave. If you do this, you gotta leave. You gotta get out. You gotta pay this. You gotta do this. You gotta blase. You know? This is the stuff narcissistic grandparents do. Because as you know, narcissists only care about themselves, and whatever is the problem, whatever their problem is your problem. And they think people should fix their problems. They think people should fix their problems. And they got the issue, and they always count on your money in your pockets. And this is how narcissists think. If I got an issue, then and I got a problem, well, you should help because you have a body and you have strength, so you should help me with this. for free, and you have money, so you should help me for free and pay for this because this will help me. You see how that what's yours is mine, and if you can help me, you're going to help me, and you have to help me. This is narcissistic grandparents for you. Sad thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching my video. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Everybody have a great day and stay narcissistic free.